Hey guys, and welcome to the video. There are times in life when we reach a paradigm shift and things have to change. This particular day was my day. I had just finished mowing the yard and wanted to blow the clippings off the driveway. Now I've been using gas-powered lawn equipment all of my life, and I've produced several videos on their repairs. The name of the leaf blower in this video is irrelevant, but it's a steal. All I wanted to do is crank it, do my work, and be done. Nothing I find is more frustrating than being ready to work but having my equipment fail and having to stop and fix it before I can finish, especially when I'm already tired. Now I fantasized I could just crank it like this guy and go. But instead, this is what happened. Now by this time I'd started to tire, my t-shirt is soaked with perspiration and my chest hurts. And I'm done. By now I'm too tired to work even if the blower started on the very next pull. So what's the solution? Well, stick around and see. Behold the battery-powered 40-volt leaf blower from Kobalt. A few years ago, my wife purchased this 7-foot extendable pole saw. It came complete with one battery and charger. So the initial investment had been made. I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and buy a leaf blower that would accept the same battery and give it a shot. Shown here is that blower. Aside from the battery, there are only two parts to assemble. Attach the housing to the blower tube via this tube release button on the side. Of all the possible reasons a gas-powered model would fail, as shown earlier, the only reasons this model would fail would be the absence of a battery or the presence of a defective or discharged battery. This product has a turbo boost button, which the product support rep says increases the cubic feet per minute of air moved from 450 to 520 when depressed. This is a handy-dandy hanger receptacle. Now let's put this thing to the test. I wish that this blower had shipped with a flat-tipped nozzle, but the only accessory mentioned in the owner's manual is this round cone nozzle shown here, which was back-ordered and not what I wanted anyways. The two receptacles shown at the arrows press and turn onto the male pins on the end of the blower tube. So I did some research, and although I could not find any Kobalt brand flat-tipped nozzles or any I felt comfortable ordering through Amazon, I did manage to find what I was looking for on eBay. I'll post a link to it in the description section of this video. This tip has a finish on it that reminds me of carbon fiber, and it has a very tight compression fit. As you can see, the rim does not lock onto the male pins on the blower tube, but the fit is very tight. It works perfectly. Let me show you. Well, that's all fine and good, but what about battery longevity? Well, let's test it. For most smaller yards or driveways, run times of almost 10 minutes between charges should be plenty. If not, consider purchasing an additional battery. This battery also has a push-button indicator for power remaining. My wife said now that I was replacing my gas-powered lawn equipment, if I would purchase a string trimmer that was lightweight, she would help me with some or all of the trimming. Enough said. I immediately ordered this matching 40-volt Kobalt string trimmer. Since this video is not related to string trimmers, I won't go through the specs on this unit, but suffice it to say, I'm tickled pink to have my wife help me with the yard work since we mow and maintain approximately 3 acres per week in the summertime. Now this is her all masked up and with eye protection using the trimmer for the first time. I know you can't tell, but there's a big smile behind the mask. She's been wanting a lightweight trimmer she could use for a long time since she's had a torn rotator cuff. This would be an ideal device for older users as well. This is a 2-speed unit, and although I know you can actually see the string spinning in the video, when you see it live, it spins a lot faster. I suspect the effect here is caused by the trimmer hub spinning close to the frame rate of my video camera. I definitely recommend this trimmer. Okay, one last bonus video. Since my wife now has a toy and we both use the pole saw and leaf blower, I decided to order a second battery. The price of a Kobalt battery online that matches my original was $106, but I decided to try and find a 40-volt unit with more amp hours to provide more usage time between charges, and one that would work with my original Kobalt charger. What I found was this model on Amazon for $79.99, and yes, it's probably made in China, and no, it's not UL listed or certified. For that reason, you should never leave this or any lithium battery on the charger unattended indefinitely. As shown, this battery is 40 volt and 6.5 amp hours, which when multiplied together brings the watt hours to 260. Just like the Kobalt, it also has an indicator showing remaining power. The marketing for this battery touts 2 to 3 times the usage per charge compared to the original, so let's just see about that. And folks, this is pretty amazing. We're just 5 minutes short of 3 times the runtime of the original battery. Again, I'll leave a link to this Amazon product in the description section of this video. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to today's video. Suffice it to say, I was very pleased with the way this equipment performed, and at some future point, I even anticipate ordering a battery-powered chainsaw. But let's be practical, however. Can battery-powered devices match the torque and the practicality sometimes of gasoline-powered devices for large jobs? Of course not, and I'm not debating that fact. But for ease of use, zero maintenance, and small to medium-sized projects, there is no comparison to lithium battery-powered devices. Keep in mind, if you're just starting out also and you haven't purchased any equipment yet, that Kobalt makes all of this equipment in an 80-volt version. But with 80-volt batteries comes additional weight for each device. If you like what you saw today, could I ask you humbly to consider subscribing to my video channel? And until next time, this is Dean with Pilot View Productions.